I've been considering identity a lot lately, and I think it is the root cause why people cannot build their personal brands. If you break it down to first principles, if you don't have confidence in what you're doing, then how are you going to do it really well? Because when I first started, my self belief was shot. I didn't believe I could really do anything. I just left a sales job that I was really bad at. I didn't make much money. I lost all my money on leads there, and I got out of it thinking that, dang, like I need to go back as a server doing what I knew how to do. I worked as a server for already like 10 years at this point, so why not just go back and revert back to the life that I knew best? But at that very moment, I realized I had a decision to make. Sure, I was going to take another server job. Usually when I had these server jobs, I always had a class to do. I was always in college. So I was like, why not just make social media that fill in, like why not go all in on my socials? As I made that transition to being a server and posting every day on socials, I started to realize that we typically stay consistent with the identity that we think we are. And for me, I was not a content creator that decided to post every single day. Like, it just wasn't me. I felt like I always fell off. I was always insecure about the fact that I couldn't stay consistent with what I wanted to do. So that was a part of my identity, believing that I wasn't that type of person yet. So instead of continuing to be the person that was always inconsistent or always missing the mark with socials, I had to become the person that posted every single day. And I had to become the person that was going to build a brand off of what I love to do. It's pretty crazy because a lot of this stems from mental. And I think a lot of the time we want to force things to happen physically. We always want to act first. And then if we just try to take massive action in accordance to what we want to become, then we will lack the belief and we will end up burning out within weeks. And that's what happens to thousands of creators every day. I heard a quote that goes something like this: every single action that you take is casting a vote for the person that you're going to become. That is super true if your identity is already formed in the way that you believe yourself to be. If you think of yourself as someone who is bad with money, bad in relationships, or even simple as like, I'm bad at math, I've always been bad at math, then you will stay bad at math. We act upon our thoughts, and if we constantly are thinking about negative things, like say you're in debt and you have a lot of debt, and you constantly think about it, you stress about it, that's your entire life, then that's going to correspond with the rest of your life. Your debt will probably expand, your stress will probably get larger because you were constantly considering it. You were constantly thinking about it. But if you just work in accordance to the person that you believe you are, which is a high-level entrepreneur, is a artist that sells out their work, a content creator that gets giant brand deals, then why would the debt matter if you're going to live in accordance to the identity that you believe you're in? Because if all of those things are true about yourself, then you will not have to worry about the debt when everything clicks, when all of your actions actually start to outweigh the older version of you. I know this stuff can feel pretty woo-woo, and if you're still with me, it's uncomfortable. It's not easy to think about the person that you are isn't the right person that you need to think you are, if that makes sense. You need to unwire different parts of your mind that doesn't live in accordance to what you really want out of life. And that's sad because that means parts of yourself will die. And it's usually parts that are negative for you. This plays a huge role in content creation and building a personal brand, because a lot of creators will start posting, maybe give it 2 or 3 weeks, see terrible views, and start to give up because they don't believe they're the type of creator that's able to make a following. So it'll start to become a vicious cycle. You will start to see the views, you'll start to think less of yourself, and you'll start to make less content. And then you'll come to a stopping point. Every time you gain that momentum back, you'll start to hit a stopping point where you don't believe you're the type of creator that has 100,000 followers, or you're not the type of creator that has $5,000 brand deals. Like, those type of things all make a correlation. And if you're constantly posting content and you're just throwing it at the wall, you're hoping things work, and you don't actually believe in the background that this is possible for you, it just won't happen. And maybe you'll have a random viral video, but it really won't amount to a actual following, which is something that happens to so many creators. They'll try to chase a viral video that didn't really align with them, but they're like, those views felt so good, so let me just do that again. But they'll try to chase those views even if it isn't something that's going to grow their brand. They just love the attention. If you can believe that you are the creator that you look up to, the creator that gets all the opportunities out there, and your identity starts to mold into that, it is really hard to build an audience around a person that you don't believe in. And if you don't believe in yourself, people can tell. The tiny little nuances in the videos say a lot. This all boils down into posting like the person that you are becoming, embody the new identity, rather than posting on the person that you've been, trying to fit the mold of the person that you once knew. One of my mentors told me that success is a lagging indicator, and it couldn't be more true. The work that you're doing today will not show its fruit for another few months. Maybe it's another year. This is just something that I've been really considering recently because I think it's the core root of why people don't necessarily grow. To close this out, your content and your personal brand rely heavily on the person that you think you are. Let's attack the issue from the core and not use brute force to make something happen. I'm sure you've heard that hard work isn't the thing that normally pays the most, because if you consider the construction workers up at 5 a.m. at work every single day, beating their bodies up, that is harder work than mentally thinking about the identity that you want to become. If you can attempt to attack it from your mind first, then the actions are going to be much easier as you start to see results. You don't want to just white knuckle your way into success on socials, because then you will lose yourself in that process. Leave a comment telling me if you like these more mindset talks about social media, because I feel like a lot of people don't talk about it as much. Shoot me a DM on Instagram if this is something that you want to talk about more, and I'll see you in the next one.